Alright folks, we're going to try to do a Marinaro thorax style March Brown. My buddy, I sent him a video, somebody that did one, he didn't like the video, so I'm going to try to do one for him, and we'll see how it goes. Start with for the March Brown, I like a UTC, and then it's dark brown. You can't see it, but it's dark brown. Oh, here comes a brown dog to attack me. Get down. Get down. That's a dark brown German Shorthair Pointer who likes to attack me while I'm tying flies. So I covered a whole hook. Get out of there. Okay. Now for the tail, I'll show you. The March Brown, I like to use two different things for the hackles and the tails. Just a regular grizzly, and then like a brown neck, which I have to get a new one. You can see this one just demolished. Oh, phone fell. As you can tell, I'm not good at making videos, but hopefully we get this right. All right, so I have a little feather here. Just pull off some fibers. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I use a size 10 hook, whatever your March Browns are. If I'm doing say a gray fox, I use a size 12. All right. So that's the brown for the tail. And then a little bit of grizzly in the tail. Just because they have the barred tails. I don't know if it really matters, but all the old school patterns called for it that way, so that's how we do it. Okay. A little bit of grizzly. Now, when I wrap the tails, that's just me. I wrap them back from the hook point. So you see here's the hook point. I wrap them back a little bit further. That's just my preference on this fly and the tails. Catskill style fly, you probably wrap it right at the point. Now I pull them up and I put a couple wraps behind them because you want your tails to stand up. See how they're standing up? You don't have to be that crazy standing up. And then we split them, which is always fun. Once again, you could simplify, you could add, you could subtract. It's just to give a general idea of how we do this fly. Okay, tails are in. Pull them up a little bit. They're split. Nice, good enough. All right, now we come to the halfway point in the hook shank. I don't know if you can see my thread, but it's right about halfway on the hook shank. And that's what makes Marinaro style fly different than, say, a Catskill style fly. All right, let me find, I use wood duck for the wings. Get a nice piece of wood duck here. Running a little low. My cousin got me a couple wood ducks 2 or 3 years ago and restocked me, but now I'm running low again. Tying too many of these things in Hendricksons and Quill Gordons. Alright, so we got nice wood ducks. I got nice little, that's one bag. A lot of barred wood duck if you like salmon, not barred, but you know, if you like tying salmon flies, there's a lot of good stuff in there too. Alright. Alright, I prepped the wood duck, pulled the fibers back. Now you could be a little forward of the middle of the hook shank, but don't go too forward with it. Get 3 wraps. Pull it. Now, once again, I like a high wing on my flies. Look at that wing. I think it's pretty high. You'll be amazed at how natural these things look on the water. You'll get confused with your fly and the actual naturals because it looks so good. Trim it down. Now we're going to make a nice tapered body back. Right. Now we'll stand that wing up. Wrap in front of it. I got paint all over my hands. I was painting today. Accident happened with a pint of paint in it. It accidentally fell. And the cleanup was a disaster. But I got it all cleaned up, got the job done. Alright, now we split our wings. Now, if you don't like splitting your wings like this, there's an easier way to do it. I wouldn't say it's easier, but it works just as well. But I always split my wings this way. Is when you're all done with the fly, it's a little trick. Split your wings and put a little drop of head cement in between them, and they'll stay split. So, but I just do it this way. It's the way, you know, the way I'll do it. This is the proper way to do it, if there is a proper way. Alright, wings are split. Now I wrap around the base of the wing, almost like you would wrap a parachute. Wrap around the base of the wing a couple times. That's one. Figure 8 through. Turn it. Wrap it around that way. 2, 3. Let's see, this is where it gets tricky. That's why the head cement trick works nice. Okay. Okay, wings are split. We'll stand them back up. Get a base in front of them. Alright. Nice so far, right? Upright wings, split. Tails could have been split a little better, but it'll work. It's more about the drift than anything. As long as you got something imitates it. If they're taking duns, you get a good drift. They're going to eat the fly. Alright, now I'm going to dub the front. This is something I do a little different too. So I use some Antron March Brown color. I don't know if you could see it with that glare, but here's the March Brown color right here. So I take a little bit of that, a little bit. Then I just take some regular hare's ear fur, and I mix. I'm mixing it, see? Yeah, some people, you know, use wax. You don't have to. You want this dubbing to be loose so that hackle really bites down into it. I wrap it up towards the eye. Because the whole key to this fly is putting the wings in the center of the shank and the way you wrap your hackle. And it just sits beautiful on the water. Okay. Alright. Now wrap it back. Now, there's some ginger quills in a cup of water. I like the ginger quills. When I do a March Brown, I let a little more of that brown underbody, that thread, show through. When I do a gray fox, I'll use a lighter color thread, and I'll use more of the quill, tighter wraps on the quill. So I snip that quill down, but make sure you soak them. It's not like getting to the end of a fly, wrapping the quill, and it splits on you. But you all knew that already. Alright, make sure that body's tapered. Dog's barking as usual. He's a guard dog. Everybody that walks down the street, bark, bark, bark. Okay. Okay. Nice tapered body. Now we wrap the hackle. I mean the quill. Like I said, I don't wrap it back to back next to each other. I leave it a little open to show that brown through on the March brown. Right up to the wing. Right up to the wing. 3 wraps secure it. Okay. Trim off. Now you can sort of see it's starting to, she's starting to take shape there, right? Yeah, not too bad. My light's a little wonky, but you can see it's starting to take shape. Now, I just take a little bit of Sally Hansen's or whatever you have, and I put it over the quill just for durability. I mean, you could use the UV stuff. I'll use it on nymphs if I tie nymphs. I don't like using it on dry flies. Just my opinion, no big deal. Whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of fly tying. Alright. Now we get our hackles ready. So, you want, with this fly I'm using 2 hackles. Usually you could use 1 fly like on a Sulphur or a Hendrickson or anything. But I like because they have the barred legs, I like using 2 hackles. Oh, you can't forget, if you're going to sit down and tie a fly, definitely got to pack a lip, right? Look at that. See if we got a fish. Oh, there's the dog again. Look at him. Look at him. Hey, look at, oh, bird. 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 Get out of here. Go. Come on. He once stole my jungle cock neck. I was tying salmon flies, and I was like, I know I got that jungle cock neck. No, get down. Get down. Go out there. And I was like, I know I got that jungle cock neck somewhere. And I was like, oh, no, the dog's got it. I ran out. He's sitting on the couch holding it between his paws, just about ready to chomp on it. I'm glad I caught him in time. But anyway, back to the fly. So your front hackles, you want shorter than your back. So you have to pick almost 2 different size hackles. So like for the front legs, because the brown will be in the front when you tie this fly, you want them a little shorter. So say on a size 10 hook, use like a size 12 hackle. Okie dokie. Now, and vice versa for the back legs, you want it a little longer. Or you could use a size 10 hackle, just as long as the front legs are a little shorter than the back. Makes the fly sit beautiful on the water. So now the hackle I grabbed was a touch too big, but it'll work. We'll prepare that one. I always trim it so there's a couple little barbs left on the end. That way the thread grabs it. I don't like stripping it off. I like having those little barblets left on the end. I put the hackles together. Alright, I tie them in front of the wing. A couple turns, then I tie them behind the wing. Right behind the wing. Get them things, them bad boys, tight down there. Alright. Alright, now we take our dubbing that we mixed earlier. So again, don't forget, put it loose. You almost need a ball of dubbing at the wings. So those hackles, when you wrap them around, they grab. Also, you have to have a cup of mint tea, too, when you're tying flies. Not a, you don't have to, but that's how we roll. All right. Now we'll wrap it in the front again. In the front of the wing. I come back, I pull those hackles forward, and I wrap it behind the hackles. There we go. Need a little bit more. Okay, now here's, a lot of people don't like tying this fly because it is a pain in the ass to tie, but man, it works. All right, so now take this grizzly hackle, you wrap it in front of the wing like an X, then you come back down behind it, wrap it in front, come back down. You don't come behind the wing, you want to wrap it so it looks like an X. So I put 3 turns of grizzly on there. I never tie these flies pretty. They always look ugly, but man, like I said, now you take this brown hackle and you go the opposite way. So the grizzly hackle, well, you went to the back of the fly and forward, but like an X, and then you take the brown hackle and you do the opposite. You come in front of the wing and behind, in front of the wing and behind, and I use two or 3 turns. That time I used 2. Wrap it off at the head, trim it. Now that head's a mess, but truthfully, I really don't care if my heads are messy on my flies, as long as I can get through that, tip it through there. Okay, as long as I get that tippet through there when I'm fishing, the fish don't care. You know, you see all these beautiful, pretty flies and everything. It's not, I mean, yeah, everybody likes to tie a pretty fly, but at the end of the day, if you tie them with a crappy head, don't cut it off. Just fish it. It'll work. Okay. I just throw a couple half hitches in. You could whip finish if you want. Now, on the bottom of the fly, these center hackles, I come in and I trim them even with the hook point. And the fly rides like on these side hackles, and it sits up on the water. It's let's see if you can see how it sits. All right, I'm gonna have to. I don't know how to figure this out. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, dadgummit. This video is coming out so good too, and then. But anyway, all right, let me see if I can figure this out. There it is. I don't know where this stupid thing is. All right, you see how that fly sits? Those tails are up, those wings are pitched nice, and it sits just on those hackles. The body's not in the water or anything. So, well, that wasn't a great video. But that's how you do it. Maybe I explained it better than I showed you, so hopefully the explanation worked. All right, take it easy, folks.